Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you could play through a song called Fields of Gold, and I'm kind of working off the Eva Cassidy version. It's kind of a request. And we're going to end up cabling this on 2nd fret to match the recording, but we start out with kind of some cool arpeggios around a G major chord. And then we play G major, first finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and third finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And you may want to kind of think about using another G too, especially at different points. You could take the 3rd finger and go to the B string on the 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret, and that's another way you might want to kind of play the G major. And it starts out with this cool little arpeggio where you can play low E string, and then the D, G, D, and then an open B, and then D, G, D, and then kind of the low E string with the open B, and then D, G, D, and then a low E. And I'm kind of doing that hybrid picking right now, where I'm kind of using my pick for my basses, and then kind of using the fingers for the other notes that lick. And you may want to try that fingerstyle too. Actually, you could do a lot of that with just the thumb and the index in the middle and the ring, actually, so it should be kind of lined up right. So you might want to kind of think about using that fingerstyle. And actually, a lot of the song, actually, we'll talk about some other fingerstyle licks. But then from there in our intro, we kind of pick it up on an E minor chord. And when you play E minor, first finger goes on the A string 2nd fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now on the E minor, you may want to take the 3rd finger and kind of add it in on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. That's called an E minor 7. So that's a cool voicing to play around with. And then from E minor 7, we go into a D major chord. When we play D major, first finger goes to the G string 2nd fret, second finger on the high E string on the 2nd fret, and the 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord. That sounds really, really happy. And then from the D, we go into a C major chord. When we play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret, third finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord. And you may also dig on a C major 9 for this song too. And then when we play C major 9, first finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the A string 3rd fret, third finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. So you want to kind of play around with that with the C chord too. And then from the C, we end up back on our G major, and then we do another G major. So on the intro, a lot of times with a song like this, to kind of make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the G and just tried that all. You'd have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up. Through the intro, if you just wanted a really easy way to strum it, you could kind of do the G with a down, down, up, down, kind of a big G. And then we could pick it up on the E minor, but we end up doing just a down, down, up on a E minor, and then a D, and then we do our whole strum pattern on a C, down, up, down, G with a down, down, up, down, G with a down, down, up, down, up. Now, something else you may want to add to that is the bass notes too. And on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the G, you'd have the low E string for your bass. On the E minor, you'd have the low E string for the bass. On the D, you'd have the D string for the bass. And on the C, you'd have the A string for the bass. So we tried the intro with a bass down, up, down, up. We'd have G with the bass, down, up, down, up, big G. And then we could have E minor, the bass, down, up, D with D bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, up, down, G with low E bass, down, up, down, up. And then from there we go into our main verse chorus. And we start on the E minor, and then we go to a C major, and then do a C major. Oh, shoot. Now what it sounds more like what Ava's doing in the recording though is doing this fingerstyle. And if you're interested in that, your thumb kind of becomes your bass player for your E and your A and your D string. And a really easy way to do this would be doing index finger to the G string, middle finger to the B string, and ring finger to the high E string. And you could kind of work the whole thing as kind of a thumb, index, middle, ring kind of idea or arpeggio. And a lot of times actually we use classical abbreviations for right hand. So your thumb in classical guitar is P for pulgar. Index is I for indesso. M is medio or M, that makes sense. And then ring finger is A for angular. So the names kind of come from Spanish abbreviations used by Spanish guitar players when they write methods in the 1700s. So we could kind of work it as kind of an idea of that thumb, index, middle ring twice, and that kind of takes the place of our down, down, up, down, up. And then when we hit the halving places for the E minor and the D, you just do that whole arpeggio. So if we tried it that way, we'd have G, but then E minor, the low E bass, D with the D bass, C with an A bass, G with the low E bass, another G with low E bass. So we want to kind of think about using that too. And then from there, then we go into our verse part. And our main verse is actually kind of a variation actually on our intro, where we start on E minor with our whole pattern, and then C with our whole pattern. But then we go to C, and we have a C with a D, and then we have that to a G major chord. And then we go to an E minor chord, and then actually later on that this happens, you could kind of stay on that whole E minor, or later on actually in our first chorus, we definitely end up with kind of a D that kind of halves there. And then we go to a C major chord, and we go to a G major chord, but it sounds like the A string is kind of coming out as a bass note. It's called G/B, or G major with a B in the bass. And then from there, then we go to an A minor chord, and we play A minor. First finger goes to the B string on the first fret, the second finger on the D string, second fret, and third finger on the G string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord. That sounds really, really sad. And then from the A minor, we go to the D, and then we go back to a G major chord at the very end of kind of our verse chorus. So we try that with a down, down, up, down, up. There are a lot of places where we end up kind of halving our down, or our down, down, up, into down, down, up. So we have E minor with down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, D with the down, down, C with the down, down, G/B with the down, down, A minor with the down, down, D with the down, down, G with the down, down, up, down. Or if we added basses to that, you'd have E minor with the bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, up, down, C with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, G with a bass, down, up, down, E minor with a bass, down, D with a D bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G/B with an A bass, down, E minor with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, G with a bass, down, up, down. And we'll basically be repeating that until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge part, we start on the C major, and then we have a D major and then a G major. And then we go back to C, and a D, G, C, and then a D, E minor, C, D, but then we psych out to a E minor, and then a D, and then a C, and then a D, and then a G. So we try that with our down, down, up, down, up. We'd have C, down, up, down, D with the down, down, G with the down, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, E minor, down, down, C, down, down, D, down, down, E minor, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, up, down. Or if we try adding basses to that, we'd have C with an A bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, G with the E bass, down, C with an A bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, G with the E bass, down, C with an A bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, E minor with the E bass, down, C with an A bass, down, D with the D bass, down, E minor with the E bass, down, D with the D bass, down, C with an A bass, down, D with the D bass, down, G with the E bass, down, up, down, up. And then from there, we'll basically be repeating those parts through the song. Now the weird part is to play along with Eva Cassidy, instead of starting on a G chord, she's starting on an A major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take the capo, and you put the capo on second fret. Then now your G is really an A major chord, your E minor is really an F sharp minor, your D is really an E major chord, your C major is really a D major chord, and the A minor is really a B minor chord. But you may want to start it off with kind of that little arpeggio of the G before you kind of go into the other parts. Or you could strum through that and have the G down, down, up, down, D, G, and then E minor, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, G, down, down up D with a D bass, down C with an A bass, down up down G with low E bass, down up down G with low E bass, down up down up. Or you could try that with the fingerstyle and have G. Or you may want to kind of follow that arpeggio from the beginning, and then the E minor, D, C, G, G. And then from there we'll be going into our verse part. So we could try that with our down, down, up, and have E minor, down, up, down, C with the down, down, up, down, C with the down, down, D with the down, down, G, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, G slash B, down, up, A minor, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, down. Or we could add basses to that and have E minor the bass, down, up, down, C with an A bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with a low E bass, down, E minor, low E bass, down, D with a D bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G slash B, A minor with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, G with a low E bass, down, down. Or we could try that fingerstyle and have E minor, C with an A bass, C, D with a D bass, G with a low E bass, E minor, low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, G slash B, A minor, D, G. And we'll basically be repeating that until we get to our bridge part. And if we try our bridge with our down, down, up, we'd have C with the down, down, up, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, up, down, up. Or we could add basses to that and have C with an A bass, down, up, down, D with a D bass, down, G with low E bass, C, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor, low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, down, down. Or we could try that fingerstyle and have C, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor, low E bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor, low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass. And then from there, we'll be going back into kind of our solo part, which is kind of like our verse, back through our bridge again, and then we end up with kind of a bridge tag actually, where you could do the E minor and the D, and then C, and then we go to our G at the very end of that bridge tag. It's almost kind of like bringing back that, almost like bringing back that last little bit of the bridge. And then from there, we'll be going back into our verse part. So we have our E minor, C, C, D, G, E minor, D, C, G slash B, A minor, D, G. Repeat that. E minor, C with an A bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with low E bass, E minor, low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, G slash B, A minor, D, G. And then from there, we go into our outro part. So we kind of mix that up with the C, D, E minor, D, C, D, G, E minor, D, C, G. At the very, very end. But that's the basics of how you could strum through and kind of fingerstyle through the Eva Cassidy version of Fields of Gold. So good luck!